Hi, Dad. How do I select a start date for Social Security benefits?
This is a great question, and it's critical. It's critical. Let's say you're age 62 or over, right? And you're working and you're trying to time your Social Security retirement benefits to arrive in such a way that there's no gap in income from your last paycheck to your first Social Security retirement check, right? Your first benefit. Well, if a gap is what you're trying to avoid, you have to know how this process works, right? When to apply, what to select as your start date, and when you'll receive that first benefit. That's really important. And it's also important, I guess, for folks who maybe aren't in that situation, but they still want to know. They're planners. They want to know when that check is going to arrive and how do I fill out this Social Security application? Because there's going to be a lot of information that you have to enter. But what we're going to talk about today is the start date. And an important piece of information to know about Social Security benefits is that they're paid in arrears. So your March benefit is paid in April. Your June benefit is paid in July. And that is going to dictate what date we select on the Social Security application. So take a look at this diagram. I promise you this will help. Let's assume that you want your first benefit check to arrive in October. Well, then your start date would be September, right? That check that you receive in October will be for September because payments are made in arrears. And you don't have to wait until the last second. You don't have to wait until September either to select it as the start date. You can apply up to 4 months prior. So in June, you can select September. In July, you can select September. If you want to, do things in advance and you're a planner and you just want to have everything situated so you know where you stand, well, then you have a few months, several months prior that you can make that election. Another example, let's say you want your payment in June, right? Your first benefit check in June. Well, in May, that is what you would select for the start date. You would select the start date for May. But you don't have to just do it in May. You can have all the way as early as February, you can select that May start date. In March, you can select the May start date. Last thing we're going to talk about here. When do you actually receive that check during the month? Well, that depends on your date of birth, right? If your date of birth is between the 1st and the 10th of the month, well, then your benefits are paid on the second Wednesday. If your date of birth is between the 11th and the 20th of the month, well, then you get your check on the third Wednesday. And if your birthday is at the end of the month, from the 21st to the 31st, well, then in that case, you get your check on the fourth Wednesday of the month. So if you are looking to really be clear on when those checks are coming in, it's based on your birth date. And of course, on the start date as well for that first benefit check. Gaps in income can be painful. You can apply for Social Security benefits in a variety of ways, online, over the phone, in person. Whatever method you choose, just ensure that you select the correct start date for you so that you know when those benefits are scheduled to arrive and you can plan accordingly. All good?
I got it. That makes sense, Dad.